right. The content of this meeting is being sent to a third party. Okay. Well, I don't think anybody can see that. All right, everybody, we've got Bobbi Eklund with us here from Mind and Body. Hi, Bobbi. We're so glad. Yeah, we're so glad to have you here with us today after some always technical issues getting the live feed going. I've got Jennifer Socher here, and y'all look, she's on her phone because she's setting up. If you've got any questions while we talk with Bobbi today, please put them in the comments because Bobbi is very engaging and she loves to hear questions and answer questions. And of course, I'm Janice Ferguson, Bandit CrossFit owner and head coach, and Jennifer Socher, our nutrition coach. And Jennifer, we're doing a challenge right now. So we hopefully have some of our challenge participants watching. And the focus on this challenge is building muscle, Bobbi, and burning fat. And I know that the work that you do complements what anyone, whether you're at a CrossFit gym or anywhere else, what Bobbi does can complement your effort to build muscle and burn fat. So let's let Bobbi tell us a little bit about herself, what she does, and maybe what you do that could complement the goal of our challengers.
Well, hello, everyone, and thank you so much for having me, you guys. I'm Bobbi Eklund. We're with Mind and Body Inc. Magnus and I. We help people in all kinds of ways. You know, it's interesting that you're having your technical issues, and life is really one big technical issue. And we have so much that we're trying to figure out. And that's kind of where Mind and Body comes in. You may go to the gym and your challenge is to, you know, burn fat and gain muscle. That also is a technical issue. So it's like you're an individual and you have a story, you have a come from, and each one of us are super unique in our presentation. So our presentation isn't just this physical body, it's our story, it's our come from. It's all those things that could possibly get in the way, but you can't actually see them. It's not an obstacle that, oh, this 40 pounds, you know, I have to do something with it. You can see that in front of you, you know, you can touch it and do something with it. But there's so much in our line that has to do with emotions that can trickle down into decision making. So am I going to show up at the gym? The beautiful thing about what I do with energy codes as a coach is I help people get in their body and recognize that there's a guidance system in there. There is feelings that we have that if we'll pay attention just a little bit, you know, they'll tell us if something feels right or doesn't. It will tell us if there's something coming up that we need to address instead of ignore, which maybe our behaviors are driving us to ignore these type things that really hinder us and don't allow us to overcome technical issues.
I love that analogy because it makes so much sense to me, because it is more than just the fat that you have gained through, it's not just through the food that you've eaten. I mean, the food is a big component, but there's so many other things, like you said, your whole story. And each member in our gym, and for the greater public out there, they all have their own story of how they got to where they are today for various reasons and their own lived experiences. So I think that's why having someone like you with that outside perspective, and you can really help for someone to focus on, what do I need to do right now? And you have, like you mentioned, multiple modalities to address some of those larger issues to make it a more holistic approach, is how I see what you do. Would you say that that is kind of how you see that too?
Absolutely. It's organic, you know, holistic. It's get you in the present moment idea. And in the present moment, everything's okay. Everything is possible in this present moment. So all your goals, all your dreams, how you see yourself, instead of relating to the or the past, relate to what's right now and the desires of now. And if you come from that platform, you will be able to achieve. So it starts in the morning, you know, it starts with our breath. The Chinese with their a Chinese clock, traditional Chinese medicine, you know, the breath is one of the first things, like when we're waking, that is like at its, like if you wake up early, it's at its highest point. So breath is also spirit. And what are we? You know, the name of our company is Mind and Body. However, that doesn't mention that other aspect of us, again, that we don't see, the spirit. So if you'll begin, like you have two minds. So you have this thinking mind, the one that houses that little story, and you have your higher mind, or this higher spiritual realm, however, you know, your God consciousness, Christ consciousness, whatever people, you know, decide to call it. It's this other part of you that knows best and that really is talking to. But do we settle down enough to hear it? And again, it comes from, you know, we talk about the gut instinct, like, and again, Chinese medicine talks about the seat of the soul being here in your belly area. So, you know, we could take we could create some movement in our belly when we breathe, for example. So I can walk you through something like that. This is the perfect way, the quickest way to get you just out of your head. Say something's going on, like right now, you know, you had technical issues. Okay, well, I can freak out about it. You know, I have choices. I can give up, or I can also be aware, okay, this makes me a little nervous. That's true. You know, I really hope we get this call done today. I just don't know. And I got all this stuff stirring up, right? Well, one thing you could do is like move your abdomen literally on your inhale and then allow it to open, allow it to expand. So use your musculature to create some space in that belly on your inhale, and then squeeze it down on your exhale. You're moving your lymphatic system, all of your circulatory system with your blood vessels. I mean, everything's starting to move when you do that. And your mind, you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest, relax, digest, know I'm okay here. But when you stay stuck up here, know all the worst things that could be happening. And so this doesn't have to be about you. It could be about one of your listeners who are thinking about, I've got kids, I've got a dinner, I've got to shop. You know, there's so much to do. I don't know how many men and women you have, but you know, we each have the men have other concerns, you know. I'm trying to get these goals accomplished in my life, you know, and I have blah, blah. We've all got our story and our come from. So it doesn't matter what yours is. Everyone is just as valid as the next. But it's like, hold on a second. Let me snap out of that and get in this moment, not in the back there or forward where I'm trying to be. Let me be right here. And what is it here? And what is my intuition telling me about my next move? So it's like we have to take our mind out of the driver's seat. So that's one of the first things I ask people to do is when I stand them up to look at their alignment with structural integration, working with the fascia of the body, that's one of the things we're looking at is like, are you holding yourself? Is your pelvis engaged? And this is like the basics, the very beginning. Like, how do you expect that your feet are going to be okay? If your hips are going to be okay, or your neck is going to be okay, if the seat of you is not seated, like your spine, the root, you know, the sacrum, how is the nervous system going to work for you if you're not in that sacrum, if you're not engaged in that sacrum to hold it up? So breath is so important, and we just don't even know it. That's just one aspect, you know, of some of the things.
Stress that people would be holding on to, that tension, that could also be what I guess what I'm hearing you say is like, oh, my IT band or my quad or my calf hurts. Well, the stress that you're holding on into your body is causing this maladjustment, I guess if that's the proper way to say it, or this misalignment. And that's of something that you're addressing too, is not just the root cause of, oh, the sacrum's out of position, so that's why your legs hurt. It's just why. So you're going further into, well, why is that out of position? Why is your neck out of position? What are you holding on to in your life that's causing you to walk? Because I'll notice myself typing at my computer, and it's like, I'll just have this tension right here, you know, and I'll have to like think, Janice, relax your shoulders for a second. And that has got to be contributing to some of my neck issues. And it's not because the position's like, it is because the position's like this, but why is the position like this? Because I'm stressed when I'm typing, because I have so many things I'm trying to think about, and it just draws you in. Like, I think you can hear the tension. Yeah.
You have
You hear the tension now, like there's tension. So I just need to do, like you said, move your belly.
you know what? It's about attitude. It's about what you tell yourself. So it's like, well, I have this awesome opportunity to sit here at this desk and have the time. It's about gratitude, again, being in the moment. Wow, I know how to do these things. This is so cool. I mean, you were such a beautiful example of that with your technical difficulty. You had support by your side. You could bounce ideas off of, and so beautiful. She's sitting there holding space for you, being chill, and you're just like, I know I can figure this out. Maybe try that. And it's like, but what if you could do that in, this isn't letting me, let me see. Okay, let me try this now, and just like the more you stay calm, the more, like, what if I had said, girl, I don't have time for this. I got to get
We're so glad that you did not.
add to your stress. So
That's
it's kind
where it's coming from.
of breathe and stay in this moment and believe in all the possibilities, before we all go freaking out on each other. And then it's like one big chain of everybody freaking out on each other.
Yeah.
Like just that one simple thing, spirit, bringing more of you in with your breath. Spirit is breath. Let's all take a deep breath. And so I hope you noticed, Janice, you went like this. So sympathetic nervous system, and obviously you have muscles, the scalenes, the ribs, like it's going to tighten here naturally. It's supposed to, because it's lifting your rib cage. That's how the lungs expand, because the rib cage is expanding, which, by the way, breath work is great, but coinciding with the fascial work, like getting that rib cage, like with it, the contractions of the fascia and the musculature, creating some space is another thing that helps. But the more you do that, the more you open up that vagus nerve, heart, digestion, gut. So it's like all going to be working for you and eliminating what needs to be eliminated, as opposed to just like you're stagnant or you're stuck or you're locked down in some area. And guess what? All that energy flow, the toric field flow, where everything is supposed to be moving, it's going to be like, it's not going to pass smoothly through an area. It's going to kind of go around, and you're going to have this wobble, and everything about you're projecting out whatever your vibration is, and all the mixtures of that. It's like a recipe in a pot. Like maybe you put too much pepper and it's not going to taste good, but if you put a little pepper, so it's kind of like if you have too many thoughts running rampant, that's not good, because right use of mind is creativity. It's not, I gotta think through, I gotta figure this out. That's not what right use of mind is, because mind and heart, this is the driver. And anything can be accomplished here, because also you have the right reasons why you're doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like,
Not
go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
pressures, and not what you think you should be doing. That's ego, which we all need ego. We all have an ego, so it has a purpose. But again, balance.
Control. And that's what I like what you said, because I've been reading a lot about the stress that people carry around with them are due to things that they can't, the future, which is something you have no real control over. But you, like you said, you have control over the present moment. So I'm trying more in my life to not worry about the outcome of things and address present moments. And as the outcomes come out of the present moment choices I'm making, address them as they come, rather than trying to, because I'm a future thinker. And I think a lot of people like to think about the future, but sometimes thinking about the future can stress you because you have no control.
Right. So even in the present moment, you don't have control. What you have is the ability to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Control is about something about doing. But what if we just don't go about being, and the doing takes care of itself? Because exercise feels good, I'm going to be in a moment with exercise. I'm going to be here on this equipment, in this class. Yes, that's what I'm doing, but I'm being here with this. And what unfolds from there, the results from that, that's like the fresh air. That's how you stress, because you're being with that thing that you chose, that is good for you, that adds to your life, gives you energy.
Yeah. What advice do you give to people for things like, we all do this to ourselves and we take on, too many things? How can you get into like, I don't know if you even have advice on this, because this is the thing I wish I could figure out and put in a bottle and sell, is how can you say no? How can you learn what's giving you life, and, to say no to things that aren't giving you life? Because I think that's what a lot of our members struggle with.
Okay, so that's a very easy question.
Oh, yes. Bobbi, let's sell it. Okay. What do we have?
Saying, I gotta please. That mindset is checking on the outside of me to find out, if I do that, will that bring me gratification? Will that make me important? Will that validate me? You are the only one who needs to validate you. And that's not from a selfish place. Again, that's from the gut and the heart. Like, who am I? That's what I want to be. And that is what pleases everybody. What lights a room up, and people want to come around that, period. So there's nothing to do. It's just you wind up being you, and opportunities to do something will show up for you that feel good. So I teach people how to get in this body and breathe and move in it. And then you start feeling have you ever meditated? Have you ever sat for a minute or taken a bath and been like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. And then you get a good night's rest and then you wake up just refreshed, and it's that's you. That's who you are. And then you don't want to compromise that. So when you feel inside that this decision to do that doesn't feel right to me, that's how you live your life. Wait, let me check on the inside. And eventually you start knowing very quickly what works for you. And then you start putting yourself in situations that or you gravitate towards them, or they gravitate towards you, the situations that coincide with the truth of are.
Yeah.
So it's being honest. Is first steps besides breath. What am I thinking? And is that serving me?
Yeah.
Because serving you is serving others.
Yeah.
Living a sick life is serving others. And so mind and body is about, how can I help you feel good in your body? Maybe one day I'm working on you, working in that fascial network, and then you get all this space in your fascial network. And again, traditional Chinese medicine, the energy meridians are located in that flow of the fascial network. And it creates, everything is energy before it becomes a thing. It creates the organ itself that it's named after. It has certain characteristics. We could talk about chakras. It's parts of our personality that make us so unique. They all need to be vibrant and working together. It's like relationships. You don't want to be in a dysfunctional family. You don't want to be where someone's too much this or someone's not enough that, or blah blah blah. Like, you can imagine all the different dynamics that go on. It's like, even within ourselves, there's all these different dynamics, but it's about coming up and being.
Yeah.
And exercise is like, this is a body. This is a body that we're in, having this human experience. So what are we going to do with this body? If we know that if we lay it down, we sit it down and we don't move it, it hurts. Things become stagnant. You must move it. It's not a question. Move it. Even if it hurts a little, stay within range, but you got to move. You got to push through. And I promise you, I'm talking from experience. I hurt so bad. I had so much stuff just in my body holding on to it. And every time I would go to a gym, I would cry. And I would be like, these people are so mean to me. These people are just, I don't understand why they want to hurt me, why they want me to hurt. And then I realized, holy cow, it's me. And honestly, breath work and what am I thinking? Those are the first two big, if you start analyzing what am I thinking? And is this serving me? Because your brain lies to you.
Mhm.
It's lying to you because it's looking for things that are wrong when you're in the sympathetic nervous system, because it's all about that ancient brain and survival and making
Yeah.
sure you stay safe and don't get eaten by
Mhm.
something, so you gotta, but neuroplasticity, look it up. You can change the way you think. You can change who you are.
Yeah, it sounds like to me you're saying it's like we're fighting against a millennium of like being rigged for certain, wired towards certain things. And true mastery is understanding that and trying to figure out ways to hack it, I guess, for lack of a better term, and to rewire it to do what you have control now. And you are going to,
And the way that is so simple.
yeah,
It's ridiculous. You do not have to go get a college education or spend thousands and thousands of dollars to do it. It is
mhm,
so simple. And now with YouTube and all this information, or if you want to come in person to somebody, we're available. But like, you can do this. You can be well, and you can know your okayness, and it doesn't matter what your past has been. It doesn't matter. It doesn't what crimes you've committed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's done what to you, because right now that's not happening. And there's the past. You can't go back and say that's real,
yeah,
because really it's not. This moment is what's real. And you can want for yourself what you want. And so I give you permission. You have permission to want what you want. Now you got to give that to yourself. The idea that I could have what I want in this life, I could feel want to feel. Yes, you can. You can feel good. You're meant for joy. I'm telling you that. It's true. And
yeah.
exercise, well, it ties into this.
Yes, so many people come to me. I've sat across the table from probably 1,000 people who come across, looking for something, and they're all looking for the same thing. And, CrossFit may not be for them in that moment, but they are holding on to decades or more of abusing their body in a sense. I think they feel that, they were eating the wrong things, they weren't moving, they weren't exercising. And I feel like they're in a hole like that. I guess that would be the best way to describe it, is there's so many people out there in a hole, and they feel like that hole is so deep and they just don't know how to get out of it. And they feel like there's people in that hole with them that are holding on to them, and they won't give their self permission because they feel like they will be leaving behind not only their past, but the people that are in that past with them, I guess. Or I don't know, it's almost like
You
you
know
have.
what's
Go ahead.
Sorry, because I thought you had stopped because my thing. But what's beautiful is, and when you let your light shine,
Mhm.
people warm up by it, and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, it feels so good."
Yeah, you
And then
become an example.
they start to change themselves.
Yeah,
So
you
you
become
will
an example.
change. And it's not like it has to be a stark thing. Like, you'd be amazed the miracles that happen when we start taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
People around us start waking up too.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that's what maybe changes. A lot of people are afraid of change, like changing dynamic of relationships and changing dynamic in their life because we're comfortable where we are. And that's what, when they're sitting across from me trying to change their life, they want to. And usually by the time someone has come to me, like because CrossFit's bad and scary, and they've tried everything else and they hear CrossFit works and it's amazing, and it is. It's like they're ready for a change because it's a scary thing to reach out like they do. And helping them, like listening to you helps me, I think, to guide them in giving yourself permission. Like you have permission to make this change, and you're the only one that can do this. Yeah, I can guide you, I can give you the tools, I can show you how to do a squat, I can teach you about nutrition, I can point you to my network, which includes Bobbi and Magnus Eklund, who can go beyond the health, the moving in terms of load bearing and calisthenics, and the nutrition. Again, it's just so powerful what I think someone could do with the right team around them and the support system. And then, like you said, they can turn to the rest of their network and lift up the people that are around them, become almost, for lack of a better term, a disciple for how to live healthy and more fit. So I think you're an important part of that.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's true. We all need each other, and there's different aspects of the situation, and we need different things at different times. Like sometimes somebody needs a nice lymphatic, like when we're working on people, you can't, they might really be clogged up. And it's like, hold on a second, before I apply those techniques, I'll apply this technique for lymphatic massage because this isn't going to work if I don't do this first. So a lot of times you have to do something first. And it is a journey. It is definitely a transitional journey, and it takes time. And it's okay. It's what that's why we're here. We're here to work out. Like we said earlier, our life is a technical difficulty. You're here to every step of the way go, let me try this. Okay, here's what happened. Now let me try this. Okay. And you're learning as you go. And it's like, okay, I'm learning what's working and what's not working. I'm learning what I can live with. And also there's no pressure because you're the only one who's going to change. You're not trying to take something from somebody else. And I promise you, you connect to this heart we were talking about earlier. It has its own toric field separate from that of the body. How beautiful is that? It is intact. It never breaks. We think to ourselves, oh, my heart's broke. That's not true. All these sad love songs and stuff we grew up with on the radio, it's not true.
Yeah.
Your heart can't break. It can break open. And that's from Dr. Sue Morter, who says this. Your heart can break open. It doesn't just break. I'm sorry, it won't. It's going to thrive, and it's going to help you. It's going to carry you if you'll trust it.
Yeah. I tell my clients, I used to be a science teacher, and, I used to teach my kids the scientific method. And it's like, that's what I see a fitness journey or a health journey or a life journey is one big science experiment with yourself, because I'm different than you. Just like I love that perspective you had about how you became who you are. Everybody's journey is completely different. And so that's why different modalities or techniques or different things work better for other people. So I always tell that to my clients. Try this, come up with a hypothesis of what you think, what is your goal? And then let's figure out how to work toward that through trial and error, basically.
Yep.
And some of the things you probably experienced this in your practice. You've done something with a client because you talked with them, you learned about them, and you thought this was the thing. And then you tried this thing, and it's like a process of elimination. You've got to try to figure out, okay, we did this and that didn't give the result we wanted. So what now? And that's, I think, part of that journey. And I think being open to that journey is very important.
Thankful for it. Like you mentioned earlier, gratitude and being thankful for things. Like when things don't work, a lot of times we tend to just get frustrated and be upset about it. But rather than that, like shift your mindset to like, now we don't know, we know what doesn't work. And so we don't do it again. And we're thankful that we learned something.
You had that experience. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say something while you were talking. I totally forgot what it was.
We just have so many good ideas together. So many good ideas all together. Yeah, I agree with that gratitude. I'm trying to let her get it.
What were you talking about, Janice?
Oh, just the science experiment, the journey of like continual trial and error, and that it's never going to be, the answer will never be clear. It's just like science, science is always changing, and the answer is always going to change for you. What worked for you last year? This year.
Thank you. So authenticity, I'll be working on someone in my room and I'll say, now I need you to tell me if this is uncomfortable enough to where you can't breathe. Like if it's stopping you to breathe, like, come on, that's too much. But in what CrossFit or in sometimes what I do, people want to tough through, and that's good times, but it's not necessary. So you have to be honest about what is working for you. And that's where I love being in a room and literally someone has to get to the point. I tell them, okay, I want you to say 10 now, if that hurts. And they'll like, holding their breath or doing something. And I'm like, I think that's a 10 for you. Is that really, yeah, that's pretty. And I'm like, okay, so that's a 10. So now, if it feels that way again, just say 10, because 10 is personal. 10 says, oh, you're not hurting me, but this is hurting me. I am in condition that what that is doing, that results of that opening up of that fascial layer, because it was so gripping down. When it opens, it literally it's adhered and it opens up, but it feels a little painful to do so. That's your 10. So giving them permission to say, yeah, actually, I can't do that, is like, whoa, I'm teaching you in a massage room what you can do for your life.
Mhm.
You can set boundaries with people and
Yes.
be okay with it. Like it's okay.
Yeah,
I can keep going. I can keep working.
same application in here, in that, you know, some clients should not do certain things that are written. Like we have, you know, CrossFit is great because we write a workout down, we teach you about what it means, what it does, and how it's going to work on you. But when you have a class of 12 people, not everyone is able to do the same thing. So but we have to have a lesson plan. We have a general guideline. But what we have is some clients will refuse to, they'll see the board of what the workout is prescribed as and say to themselves, well, I got to do what's on that board or I'm not getting a good workout. And the coaches in our gym will say, hey, you know, your knee's been bothering you. Maybe we shouldn't do 100 squats today in total volume in the workout. Maybe let's do something different. And they're like, oh, I don't want to do something different. I'm burdening you, or I'm not getting a good workout. But it's okay to not. It's okay. I tell people, pushing through pain, because, you know, if you were a high school athlete or, you know, college athlete, your coaches push through the pain, push through the pain. They're driving you, they're motivating you. Now, the pain of suffering of, I don't want to do one more burpee. Like, I hate burpees. I don't want to do any more burpees. That's pain. That's anguish. You know, it's hurting your soul. And you're overcoming that. But the pain of, man, my knee hurts when I keep squatting and it's making me collapse in, and it's just nagging. And then when I go home tonight, it's going to flame up and I'm going to have to do all types of treatments to try to make it better, to come back again. That's not the type of pain you should push through. You need to have, so that's a great cue. We should tell our clients. And I always say on a scale of 1 to 10. So maybe that's something I could start doing to pain, because I give them, what's a scale on 1 to 10 on your effort? Like, how did that feel in your effort? But what about your pain? And if they tell me that's too much, they need to stop. And that's setting a boundary. It's setting a boundary to keep you healthy and well, where you're still moving. We'll just find a new exercise for you. And I'm sure you do the same thing. You lighten up the pressure.
Exactly.
Take another
off. You know, that's a good message right there for people. Like, I'm not going to compromise on if I'm in pain. Like that's also in life. If I'm suffering, being here with you, doing a certain thing, I'm going to start talking to you about that. And I'm also not going to compromise on my willpower. Like, stay strong in who you are and what you know is good for you, and stick with that.
Absolutely.
So
look, we've been here for a minute. I could sit and talk to you all day because I think you're amazing, but I know you've probably got people to treat and clients to help get better with their mind and their body. And we always appreciate all so much the value systems of our Bandit CrossFit coaching team, and the value systems of you and Magnus are just always, in my opinion, so much in alignment. I look up to both of you so very much, and I appreciate both of you for who you are. And I think they both complement one another so well. I mean, I'm so blessed to know you and to know Magnus and to just learn from both of you. So I really appreciate your time for being with us today.
thank you, Janice. Thank you, Jennifer. You guys, everybody, just do your best. That's all that's required of you. And one day it's different from the next.
Yeah.
So.
If someone wants to reach out to you to get some coaching and some guidance from you, how would you like them to do that?
So mindandbodyinc.com is got all of our information. You know, you could put my phone number in there if you want to, is fine too. I text people. It's easiest just to text me and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'd like to schedule. And then we can talk as well. I just, you know, the easiest.
That's what I did 10 years ago. I went to Magnus, the website, more than 10 years ago now, I believe. I went to the website and I learned all about the structural integration on that website. And I was like, wow, I can't believe we have so much knowledge of like this higher level of body mind in Mississippi, the Gulf Coast area.
I can't believe this man is in the South. What? Bless him. Thank
So I was
you.
like, yeah. So I was like, I need to know about this. And it truly has changed me to be a part of like just sharing that, like you sharing your knowledge with me. And it's changed the way that I treat my clients. So I want you to know that even if you are not personally, I know many of my clients see y'all, but if you're not personally connected to my clients, just know that your influence is on them
Nice.
indirectly.
Good.
And so all of you listening right now, if you wonder where I get a lot of my ideas from, just know that Bobbi and Magnus are part of that. You're a teacher to me. So I just want you to know that. And I have gratitude for your role.
Thank you.
All right, so let's close it up and tell the audience what they're supposed to do with this, Jennifer.
All right, so if you are in our Build and Burn Nutrition Challenge, then you need to like this video on Facebook and comment on the video, and then I will enter you in to win a prize from Bobbi. And then whoever wins our challenge will get a prize too. And I will draw on Monday because I think I have some people in the challenge that are no Facebooking for Lent, but they're checking on Sundays so that they can get into our drawings. So
okay, awesome.
We'll leave it open until then, and then I'll draw on Monday.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, Bobbi, we will see you the next time. And I think I need to schedule a breath appointment.
Yeah,
that would be we'll cover many things in it, not just breath.
Oh, trust me, I know, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So I may have to text you there and see you personally because I think it would be a lot of fun.
All right, bye everybody. Take care.
Bye, Bobbi.
Ciao.